we're going to jump in now and do a little roundtable, a little something different, as we indicated earlier in the show. We have with us right now Jeff Dewar, CEO of Quality Digest, and Mike Micklewright, lean trainer and author, frequent contributor of ours here at Quality Digest. Well, Jeff and Mike, as all of our dedicated readers know, recently wrote articles for us, appeared in the last couple of weeks in Quality Digest Daily. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to them about these articles, and we're going to have a little bit of a roundtable. And now, I know both of you guys are a little shy. So I want to do my best to pull you out of your shell and encourage you both to feel free to comment on each other's articles. I'm going to kind of broach the topics and talk about what these pieces were about. And
we can coach Mike.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. I need that.
Come out of your shells and come out. Well, Jeff, let's start with your piece. And your piece ran in Monday's issue of Quality Digest Daily. It's called "Helping Customers Define What They Want." It's a big issue because, I mean, for a lot of suppliers, we all have customers. For a lot of suppliers, we want to be able to know what our customers want and intuit not only their stated needs, but their unstated needs many times as well. So what you had an interesting kind of story, a family story you told at the start of this article. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, what started it was last year, my 15-year-old son at the time, he kind of blurted out one night at dinner, "Dad, soon I'm going to need a car."
Need.
Emphasis on the word need.
Right.
And I said, what's this need bit? You mean you want a car?
Right.
No, I need a car because they offered me a job at the grocery store down the road, and as soon as I'm 16, I'm going to drive. And I said, no, you want a car. So it was this back and forth. I said, look, I know a little bit about quality. Let's use the right words. You want a car. You need transportation, and you require a better bicycle.
Right.
And so the banter was on at that point, and he eventually bought his car with his own money and a little helping matching funds from his uncle. But it really led to me thinking about how do we help customers define what they really require. Because if you ask, it's a very difficult task to get customers to really specify in detailed workable requirements, in technical requirements, what it is that they want. Because they'll want one thing, they'll know it when they see it, they're not really sure about it, but yet at the same time, you've got to have something that is measurable, workable, definable. So there's a process that we have to do to just pull that out of them.
Well, you use a video clip in your piece from a show that I actually never heard of before called The Two Ronnies, an old BBC show.
From the 1970s.
1970s. Yeah. So why don't you set this up and talk about what we're going to see here in this clip. This is a little bit of a translation issue, isn't it?
This guy walks into a very unlean general store,
right,
and he asks for something.
Right.
And the clip will tell you the
Well,
rest.
let's see it. Let's roll that clip and see it. Well, we will roll that clip, but it was, there it is.
4 candles.
4 candles. Here you are. 4 candles.
No, 4 candles.
Well, there you are, 4 candles.
No, 4 candles. Handles for forks.
That's great. Well, Mike, how would you lean out that environment? That was a kind of an unlean.
That would require many different days.
That would require
and it just gets worse and worse.
It gets worse from there.
The guy's climbing up the stairs and then down.
Well, it raises a good point. Translation. How do because customers don't really understand specifications. They really don't. And you had some interesting experiences you referenced in your article about things that you've had where customers will give you a very general outline for what they want, and maybe they're not really giving the definition. So as a supplier, what do you have to do to tease that out of them?
Some people that I've worked with on this answer that a little bit cynically, and they say you have to trick them. Okay. And I think there's some truth to that. So, customers, for example, I worked with a focus group for an airline, and the customers were brought together, first-class customers, business travelers, And we talked about the area of refreshments. How would you like the refreshments served? Let's talk about serving of refreshments. Right away, the guys started saying, you know, I want my refreshments served quickly. I want promptly. I'm first-class customer. I want, you know, immediate service. So then we had, and so all these words, quickly, fast, promptly, rapidly, politely, don't really tell us anything in terms of specificity. So then you got to start asking them, well, are we talking about, you know, 20 minutes? No, more like, you know, 2-3 minutes. Okay, so 2-3 minutes. Now you've got a lower parameter. What about 10 minutes? No, that's not. Well, would you be willing to pay another $100 to have it closer to, say, 5 minutes? Not really. And so you play this game and you finally settle on 6 or 7 minutes is really what they would tolerate without the price going up. And then you can start asking them, well, how we're going to measure that, and they'll come up with a lot of great ideas. And in one case, we actually gave the passengers stopwatches to measure. So we empowered them, and it was kind of a game, and you got very accurate measurements, by the way, better than the quality assurance guys measuring it. And so then, you know, you actually write the standard. You know, refreshment served 7 minutes after takeoff, and here's how we're going to measure it. And that's something that a company can deploy.
You know, it's so funny that you mentioned that. Just this morning, I changed my flight, and I was asked if I want to spend another $58. And in return for the $58, I would receive a, if I ever want to change my flight again, I would not have to pay a penalty. So I wouldn't have to pay the $150. I pay the $58 for the insurance. And then also I'd get a third extra bag. Well, I don't know how many business travelers actually check in 3 different bags at one time. So there was like no value at all to me in this particular case. And so, but they, you know, the airline should realize that soon, that there's no value and I'm not going to pay for that.
And maybe it was through, you know, research and customer focus groups that they actually came up with that and thought that that was a viable option to offer.
Well, you know, I'm glad we're getting to this because really we're talking about customers here. And all the business that we're in is about customers. I mean, my definition of quality that I've always liked is quality is defined as serving customers, as giving customers what they want. Customer requirements, what it's all about. Now, if you're going to do that, if you're going to address customer requirements and give the customers what they want, spoken and unspoken, you need to have systems in place, right? I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that work if you have a system that has duplicity, has many documents that are kind of out of control, and you don't really know what those processes should be, and is not lean. Now, you had an article, Mike, that we ran a couple of weeks ago that was called "Use Lean Concepts to Right-Size." I love that term. Right-size your documentation system. So, let's start with you. What made you think of this? Why are you on this idea of right-sizing documentation systems, and how does it fit into lean?
Well, you know, my background is one of quality and then one of lean, and I've just really combined the two and realized over the years that, guys, come on, this is really all the same thing. And as you said, you know, systems are so important to achieve those customer requirements, but the systems that you see in so many organizations are just littered with waste. And so in the article, this particular company, one particular company was already certified to ISO 9001 for years. It's a small company, but now they want to go for ISO 13485 and AS 9100. So immediately you think, well, geez, that's going to increase our system. It's going to make the number of procedures just increase dramatically. Well, they had 39 procedures and 19 flow charts, and the flow charts were redundant with the procedures. They said exactly the same thing. And our goal is, and we're on a path to do this, is we're going to reduce that 58 documents or so down to 26. And they're going for ISO 13485, which is known to increase documentation. That's what everyone thinks, is that, oh my gosh, you're going to have a lot more documentation. And it's really the perception of people, and they think that they need to add all these extra documents because they gear their system towards the auditor instead of gearing it towards their own people.
You know, I like that because that's what struck me too, is that there's this fear of auditors. I mean, everybody, when in doubt, over document, right? I mean, isn't that what ends up happening, because they're afraid they're going to get busted by an auditor and get a non-conformance. So, but really that hurts the system because it builds so much waste into it. So
it absolutely does.
Do you tell your people that, forget about the auditor, do what's best for the organization? How do you get that message through?
Well, you have to keep stressing that first and foremost, that our system is for our people. They are the customers. And then, oh yeah, after an afterthought would be, does it also meet the requirements of the standard? You have to get them to understand and see the waste. There was a company that I was just dealing with recently, and they had corporate level procedures, over 1,000 pages. And we did some of just the bare bones minimum to reduce the redundancies, and they're already down to like 470. So a dramatic decrease. But beyond that, there's going to be so much more that they decrease. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is that you talk about systems. And so you have this thing called a quality management system. And in reality, so many companies also have a Six Sigma system or a lean management system. And so you have all these different systems, and there's no effort at integrating these all into one. And they really should be, because they're doing the same thing. And a lot of it's because they're all, in so many organizations, they're so department focused. And so the very people, the quality and the lean people, and those organizations that should be driving out waste and improving quality
are the ones creating it.
Exactly, yeah. You stole my thunder. Thanks a lot. Just steal a punchline. I'm used to it. So it's just so, the irony just stuns me. And so, you know, a real good example is, and I've seen this in a lot of different companies, a company's been certified to a standard, ISO 9001, for years. And they have all their procedures in place and so forth. And then later, lean comes, and they learn about TWI, training within industry. Specifically, the lean people then say, okay, we need to develop these job breakdown sheets or these job instructions. And so the lean people do that, and they create all these documents. And at the same time, these documents are redundant with the procedures in the quality management system. And so now you have a confusing system, a system that's not integrated. It does not help the people. It's inconsistent, and it could hurt quality.
That's right.
The very thing it's supposed to help.
It's amazing. And you know what? You know what's great is that the reason why you're here is that we're now shooting a video training series with you that talks about these very issues. And I mean, that's going to be available right here at your favorite website, qualitydigest.com, very soon. And it's going to really help people understand it, isn't it? I mean, it's really going to help them see in a concrete way where that waste is and why it's really hurting the organization, right?
Well, I was just going to add to that. The thing that sitting there for the last 2 weeks totally going through these videos and recording is, it occurred to me that what Mike's talking about is almost counterintuitive. Because I used to have a boss that used to tell our customers, look, you can have it good, fast, or cheap, pick 2 out of 3. You know, and that makes a lot of sense. You know, you can have it fast and cheap, but it's not going to be very good. And what Mike's really talking about is doing all 3 at the same time. It's going to be cheaper, it's going to be better, and it's going to be smoother and faster.
Wow. That's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. You guys can look forward to it too, coming out before you know it. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We could go on for all day and do this. A couple of great guys here, Jeff Dewar and Mike Micklewright. Look out for a lot more articles from them coming up here in the coming weeks and months too, here on QualityDigest.com. All right.